Well, hello there, my friends. I am Brian, and you are Chords and Notes Nation. Today, we are continuing my journey with Anathema, their album Distant Satellites. This was from 2014. I'm going to Wikipedia here for my information. Released June 4th, 2014, recorded in Cedarburg Studios, Oslo, so in Norway, but it is a British band. I reacted to the song Ariel. Absolutely loved it. It was a live version, and I've slowly, on my own time, have been listening to this album a little bit, and I think it's worth probably reacting to all the songs on this album. So if you are an Anathema fan, if you enjoy this kind of music, please make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that we can enjoy these reactions together, because really you are listening to these songs with me for the first time, as I'm not necessarily hearing them for the first time, but I'm listening with intent for the first time. There's a big difference there. So we have the Lost Song Part 1. Now there's a Part 2 and a Part 3. So this seems to be one of those songs that may have a continual theme, but it's interesting that the way that it was released on the album, Part 1 and Part 2 were the first two tracks, and then Part 3 was the fifth track, separated by Dusk and Ariel, and then followed with Anathema, You're Not Alone, Firelight, Distant Satellites, and Take Shelter. And okay, so I'm thinking what we're gonna do is we're gonna listen to this now, and then obviously I'll give you my reaction to the music. But I want to take a look at the lyrics. I have a feeling there might be some sort of theme or concept lyrically that might be going through this album. I don't know, but I have a suspicion. So that being said, I am going to relax. I have my coffee. I hope you have yours, or whatever it is that you are drinking responsibly. And let's get going.
I'm free, so free. For the first time, I've seen a new life, new life starts breathe.
Fantastic. You know, when he was singing with such emotional intensity, especially right at the end, the tone in his voice was very similar to a very young Bono from U2. I would think it reminded me of wow, he used to sing on the albums Boy and October, way those early U2 albums. Just like I said, the tonality. What a fantastic track. You know, it had that very odd timing feel um, with the drums, and then you everything else on top of it just sort of had this how do I want to describe it? The music was just very well paced, and it just unfolded as it unfolded, and you had this driving rhythm, this engine that just had this odd feel. Um, kind of at times it reminded me of a heartbeat. Um, it had that contrast was so cool, and it worked. Now, the lyrics are going to play um, a big part in dissecting this song because I think musically it was constructed to reflect specifically what's going on in the lyrics. Tonight I'm free, so free. So this idea of just being, you know, free out there. For the first time, I've seen a new life start to breathe. So that rhythm, that drum, those drums, um, yeah, kind of new, kind of free, kind of has this different feel to it. And yeah, that would lay the groundwork for what he's singing here. And you came to me in some way, and my life will never be the same. Man, there's a well, let me read on because there's just this sense of appreciation that I'm getting, this sense of gratitude. And one day you'll feel me a whisper upon the breeze, and that night as I dreamed and I slipped away to another place where you spoke to me of this day, and you came. In some way in my life will never be the same, and you came to me in some way in my life is like a hurricane, and you came to me in some way in my life will never be the same. For you're mine and I'm yours for life. You're mine and I'm yours for life, for life. The fear is just an illusion. And he repeats that 4 times. That's the part that where he was singing with that intensity. Telling himself the fear of what? It's just an illusion. Fear is an illusion. We've been told so many times to not be afraid because the Lord is with us as his children. He is always with us no matter what. But if we choose to surrender our minds to fear, there are certain things that you have to be aware of with fear. It is a response to danger, but ultimately, in the end, fear is an illusion. It's an emotional response. It's nothing it doesn't have substance. It doesn't have form. Um, so yeah, I'm getting a couple of vibes here in these lyrics. First of all, you came to me a whisper upon the breeze, and that night as I dreamed and I slipped away to another place where you spoke to me of this day, and you came to me. So almost as if there was this foreshadowing going on for a while. And she finally arrived. She finally came to him. Or she was all just a dream. I don't know. It could be taken a couple of ways. But he's saying, my life will never be the same because in some way, and you came to me in some way, and my life is like a hurricane. That could be good or bad. The hurricane can come through and it can clean a lot of things out, a lot of bad things out, but it can destroy a lot of good things too. And oftentimes in relationships, when times get tumultuous, there's a lot of damage that is done. Um, and there's repair, damage assessment and repair that needs to be made afterwards. And a lot of time and energy is spent on that. But then he goes on and for you're mine and I'm yours. So there is this covenant between the two, and that's the way it is. Yeah, very interesting. I do have a feeling that this is gonna continue. So this basically just sets the groundwork. Um, I have no choice. I got to go on to part 2 and part 3, and see what the rest of this is all about. I'm just wondering if those other songs in between have something to do thematically. Well, we'll find out. But I'm gonna listen to Lost Song Part 2 and then Part 3, and then I'll get to the other tracks on this album. I really, really enjoyed the buildup of the music, the tension at how it was just sort of layered and gradually building upon uh, the tension within the song until at the very end, he's I don't say screaming, but he's singing with such emotional intensity that the fear is just an illusion. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness, that wasn't an illusion. I had a massive workout today. My body is just like, dude, what are you doing? So very cool. I like this. I like this album so far. The 2 songs that I've reacted to. I will continue. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you. Jesus loves you. And I will talk to you in the next video.